Invasive species is a species that does not naturally occur in a specific area, and its presence does or is likely to cause economic or environmental damage or harm to the health of humans. There are two main types of Asian carp. Silver carp, native to Asia, can grow to be up to 1.3 meters long and weigh up to 50 kilograms, while bighead carp are a little smaller. These species have been multiplying rapidly through the Mississippi, Iowa, and Illinois river systems since the 1990s, when flooding allowed them to spread throughout the Mississippi watershed. Since then, bighead carp have been caught a mere 10 kilometers downstream from Lake Michigan, beyond barriers built to keep them out, and a type of Asian carp DNA has been found in Calumet Harbor on Lake Michigan. Under the U.S. administration's new plan, water samples will now be taken to see whether the carp have established a foothold in the Great Lakes. Zebra mussels. Industries with operations on the Great Lakes spend several millions of dollars a year dealing with zebra mussels, which multiply so quickly that they clog pipes and sink navigational buoys. They also filter out large amounts of phytoplankton, affecting the local food chain. These creatures end up on beaches, leave behind sharp shells and foul odors when they die and decay. These mussels are native to the Black Sea and Caspian Sea regions of Asia. A purple plant that came from Europe that was introduced to Canada in the 1800s. It degrades wetlands. It can decimate and choke out native plants that make up the habitats where fish, birds, and animals feed and seek shelter. A single plant can produce over 300,000 seeds. The plant grows in ditches, irrigation canals, marshes, and even standing water. In some locations, purple loosestrife has also begun invading dry habitats like pastures and cropland. The creeping bellflower is originated from Eurasia. Its location in Canada is Ontario and Newfoundland. Its habitat is in meadows, old fields, and roadsides. It's a perennial that grows 5 to 10 decimeters high, has blue flowers, 5-lobed, bell-shaped, 2 to 3 centimeter long stems that are erect, slender, leaves alternate between simple, unevenly toothed, and it has a 3-celled capsule. The English ivy. Its origin is in Europe. Its provincial location in Canada is British Columbia and Ontario. Its habitat is fields, old gardens, and urban areas. It's a small yellow flower that has alternate leaves and is very simple. It is used for ornamental usage. Originally introduced to control pests, the cane toad has become a pest of its own, native to Central America. The toads were brought to Australia in 1935 in an attempt to control the cane beetle population in sugar plantations. Ultimately, there was no evidence they killed a single beetle. Instead, the toads took over. Cane toads have few natural enemies outside of Central America, and when other animals try to eat them, sacs that run down their sides secrete a poison that kills predators in minutes. The toad's voracious appetite depletes resources for other native animals, and they're even known to steal pet food from bowls left outside houses. They can weigh up to 3 pounds, and measure up to 6 inches long. These toads are serious threats to the ecosystems in not only Australia, where they number in hundreds of millions, but also in Florida and parts of Texas. The European green crab. The European green crab preys on mussels, clams, and other crabs, threatening shellfish stocks on the Atlantic coast. It's a naturally aggressive and territorial crab species found near Prince Edward Island, Quebec's Magdalen Islands, Nova Scotia's Cape Breton Island, and the waters off southern Newfoundland, where it was first discovered in 2007. According to Fisheries and Oceans Canada, unless controlled, the crab's impact will surely be felt in Newfoundland's ecosystems. The environmental lens. The introduction of invasive species results in the extinction of local species and changes to the habitat and biodiversity of invaded ecosystems that cannot be fixed in any way. The Convention on Biological Diversities lists invasive species as one of the direct drivers of biodiversity loss. These species lead to the killing of native species through predation, parasitism, disease, and competition. They also change ecological processes such as the water, nutrients, and energy cycles, and therefore completely changing how ecosystems function. In addition, invasive and native species can mate to form hybrid species, which can potentially displace the native species, leading to a loss of stability among the native population and eventual extinction. The social lens. When invasive species affect an ecosystem, many of the benefits that people derive from those areas are lost. Ecosystem services that may be impaired by invasive species include water purification and storage, pollination of crops, pest control, maintenance of biodiversity, soil generation, erosion protection, and many more. The list goes on. Furthermore, the habitat loss and degradation caused by invasive species can cause commercially important species to disappear from an area. The political lens. In 2004, the federal government developed an invasive alien species strategy for Canada. The national strategy plays an important role in preventing new invasions, detecting and responding to new invasive alien species, and in managing established invasive alien species by containing and controlling. This strategy seeks to protect Canada's aquatic and terrestrial ecosystems and their native biological diversity and domestic plants and animals from the risks of invasive alien species. Economic lens. The economic costs due to the damages and control of the invasion are significant. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency has estimated the cost of invasive species to agriculture and forestry industries in Canada at $7.5 billion annually. Moreover, it is important to note that this does not include indirect costs such as damage to surrounding ecosystems.